All right, guys. So today we have Stacye and Mark on the call. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the time y'all have given us. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all dive into it based on how y'all are getting production, what that looks like, how you're getting the leads, what you're saying to the leads, and then how you're closing them. Please walk us through exactly how you're getting referrals and how it's helped your business, guys. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. I'm going to throw it off to you, Stacye.
All right. So really quick, I think it'll help if I let you guys know that I generate pretty much 100% of my income comes from referrals, almost. I mean, I could go the way my personality is with everything and the way I approach everything and my background, the history, what I've been through, my medical background, my education, all of that, it helps me with getting referrals. So basically what I can do, I can always do the standing order, and I do buy leads. Don't get me wrong. I think that's always the best thing to do. Because the way I look at it is if I buy a lead, even if that's a bad lead or if something's going to not go right with that lead, that's a chance for me to get referrals from that lead. Okay. And so I don't look at it like, oh, I'm just spending this money on this referral. I got some platinum leads last week. I mean, it was like, oh my God, I don't even know if Brian saw them. They are like, that was like the best lead pack I've ever seen. It was like, I got 10 and they all had all the information on them, like 56 years old to like 74. It's like the perfect lead pack. But what I look at it is, I look at it like every lead pack, every sheet that I get, that's 5 leads, 5 referrals. So I look at it like every one is $5,000. That's the way I look at it. You have to have a mindset of how you're doing this thing. When you're looking at these leads, when I get this one right here, so I've got this one as a check lead, right? Yeah, it's a $10 check lead. John Cormier, he may not really do a lot for me, but if I bring his wall down and I get him comfortable with me, well, hey, I know there's somebody you got to know that needs this. What about your children? What about your family? What about somebody? Who would you know that would make you a good beneficiary? And there's times I've actually said, okay, I've got $10 right here, $10 bills, $1 bills. Every one you give me, I give you $1, and of course, everybody laughs at it. I'm not bribing you. I'm asking you for your help and I'm paying you for it. It's $1. By the time I'm done, you've got $10. I've got 10 referrals. Okay. And so that's what I look at. I look at this. I start out with $10, but I look at this at least for 5 referrals. So to me, this is worth $5,000. Okay. And so a $30 lead, that's worth a whole lot of money. You never know what you may get off of that one lead. And so anyway, most of my income comes from there. To be honest with you, because I've been running pretty much 100%, I'd say maybe 90% referrals. I want to say that I'm depositing at least $20,000 a month, and I'm not being fake. That's about what it is. When I look at what I'm doing, sometimes it's sometimes on my slow months, like the month I went to Atlanta last month, I still deposited like 16,000, and I was gone a whole week. So, and I'm just being honest with you. You guys know how it is. It's not like I have to like sugarcoat anything. You know how it is. One week you can do good. One week you don't have to do anything. You may need a week off, but you got to build yourself up till you get to that point. So before I went to Atlanta, I made sure that I did pretty good sales and I got myself going that way. I was comfortable with taking off that week. Okay. And when I came back, I went right back into it. So like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the leads. The leads is the best thing for you to do. But I mean, if you can strictly work off of referrals, why not do it? But I always make sure I buy some leads no matter what. I need to keep myself up with going and door knocking and doing all of these things. Whenever I get my referrals, the first thing I do is like, let's say if I'm talking to John, okay, I come over there. Now I've already contacted you on the phone. Okay, I do my script, but what I normally do is I just say, hey, John, this is Stacye with the state of Texas. I got your information that we received in the mail. Want to go ahead and make sure that I'm taking care of you. I'm going to be in your neighborhood. This is your street, if I'm correct. And, don't correct me if I'm wrong, because I always want to make that person feel like they've got a little bit of power. I've got you at 32 Green Tree. Lane in Conroe, Texas. Is that right? Is that the same address? Because that's what I've got on here. Is that about right? And then let's say, okay, all right, perfect. Well, I'm going to be in that area, and I don't really like to go knocking on doors without somebody knowing. I'm letting you know I'm going to be there around between 4 and 6. I would like to physically see you so I can go over these things with you. But if not, which time is going to be better? And I say that, sometimes that can backfire on me, but I say that because I'm getting them ready for me. Okay. And I just want to let you know that these are some really good benefits. I'm so happy I'm going to be able to meet with you guys. And I just ad lib to it. We've got a lot of people around your age that have been taken advantage of. And then the other thing is, you can tell them stories, but you have to have real stories. If not, it's bullshit. And they can, people that are smart in this industry can smell that salesman breath a mile away. And so I just let them know, well, when it comes to the insurance and when it comes to our benefits, what we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. A lot of things fell through the cracks during COVID. A lot of people were taken advantage of during COVID, and what we're trying to do is just make sure you guys are in a good place, make sure you have what you need, make sure that you get these benefits that you're entitled to. I really, really want to be able to take care of you guys. I've gone through a couple of things with my parents. I've gone through a couple of things with, have been on one end of receiving benefits, on the other end of trying to look for good benefits. And I know how hard it can be. And I know that a lot of people were taken advantage of. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we're getting you guys back in the right, where you can trust people, where you've got the right things. And so I talk to them on the phone. It does take me a little while, but I talk to them on the phone, get them down, and I do so much better with older people, I will say that. And then when I get to the house, I let them know. So when I get there tomorrow, I am about 5'6", brown hair. I'm going to have my glasses on. I drive a black sedan car, and I will have my ID with me. Okay. Anything else you may need from me when I get there? I've got my business card. I can send that to you now. I can send you an email. Anything you need that's going to make you comfortable, because I don't like when people come to my door. So what else can I have? And I know we've got people that are coming out there with things that are not legit. And so I'm bringing everything down, and they're expecting me. When I get there, it's a whole nother story. Oh my God, you sound just like you look like on the phone. How are you doing? And then when I go in, I try not to focus on their house too much, unless I see something that I really like. Oh, that is a beautiful table. My husband and I are looking for a table for our entryway right now. It's just hard to find one, but I try not to focus on it because I don't want them to feel like, why are you looking at my house, And so once again, I sit down with them and I just say, okay, this is what we're going to do, And if they tell me I've already got all this done, I'm like, you're making it so much easier for me because I don't have to be here that long. I've got my son, I've got my husband. So basically, this is what we're going to do. And I go over everything with them and I let them know, all I want to do is make sure you have what you think you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at your insurance policies. Okay. I'm going to look at your insurance policies. I'm going to go over a couple of things with you. Not trying to change anything if we don't have to, but what I want to do is, if you tell me right now that this policy says that you have $100,000 in whole life, we want to make sure it has $100,000 in whole life. Because what people do is they get their policy, they get the schedule of benefits and everything in the mail, they put it aside. Mine is all right back there on the shelf. Does anybody ever actually read it? Nobody ever reads it. And so if something happens to you, and then when I'm talking to them, I'm getting their kids' names. So Mark, if something happens to you and Canyon and, Lennox are supposed to be getting this money, you're not here to fight for that. So if this agent's told you that Canyon and Lennox are going to get $50,000 and you're not here and they get 5, you can't fight for that. You've told your children what they're supposed to have, but they don't know anything. So what I'm going to do is not just talk with you. We're going to talk to your kids also. Boom, 2 referrals. Right there, okay? And then if I need their husband, there's a 3rd. I do not try to get out that house without at least 2 referrals per person. You've got the primary beneficiary and you've got the secondary beneficiary. And if the primary beneficiary is the husband, okay, you know what? Let's just get another person just in case, somebody not in this house, living in the city of Houston, over 18, just for legal cases. Sister, brother, who you got? Okay, and then from there, I just say, okay, so what I'm going to do is this. You've got your policies, we're going to look at everything. We're going to go over everything. And when I'm done with everything, okay, so you've got $50,000 worth of a policy, whether it's something I've given to them or I've added on or whatever. Now, do you want me to talk to your kids about this, or do you feel comfortable talking about it, or do you want to do it together? Because I can come back. I've made the sale. I've done everything. I can come back. I can come back here and I can meet them face to face. Because when I was younger, we had one insurance agent, Larry Watson, for a whole family. Everybody knew him. Well, you know what? Whenever somebody died, we all called Larry Watson, and he was there with us through the whole thing. He didn't just sell us a policy. He helped us with everything. And I let them know, no matter what, I'm going to be here for you. If you need to make a claim, I'm here. If you need to find a funeral home, I'm here. If you want to ask about cremation or earth burial, I'm here. If you forget everything we've spoken about, all of this stuff right here, guess what? I got a copy of your policy. I'm here. You call me 10 times a day and I'm going to give you the same thing, and it's not going to be a problem because I'm here for you. And then I move on and I make my next appointment with the kids. Then I've got 2 referrals for them. And then it rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. I mean, I have rolled referrals so much, it's not even funny. I know people that I've written up like 15 people in one whole family, because I've gotten in the good graces of one person and then they trust me. But everything I'm going over with them is legit. It's real. It's wholehearted. It's from the heart. I'm not trying to just sell you on something. I'm giving you a way of getting hundreds of thousands or thousands of dollars when somebody passes away. Okay? Because let's face it, it happens. And I will be honest with you, I try to use real life scenarios. Mark is the only one. I don't think I told Jacob, but I think Brian knows. But within, I guess, Mark was it like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So my son has a wreck, okay, in Austin on his own. Lady pulls out in front of him, bam, he hits her. She had that old tank kind of Buick. You know, nobody can crack those things. His car completely damaged and totaled. He was fine. He had a concussion, but he was okay. That same night, okay, now I'm a nurse. I've seen fatalities. I've seen all kinds of things, but my husband and my son have not. We're coming home from dinner. There was a guy riding a motorcycle, just sped past me. He wasn't going that fast, but instantly I noticed no helmet, because I'm in insurance now and I'm a nurse. So I'm looking at it like no helmet, no gear, no nothing, okay? And it's like 8 o'clock at night. He zooms past us. Didn't see him anymore, no big deal. I come around a curve. His motorcycle is one way and he's another way. And needless to say, within an hour, that man had a white sheet over him. We did everything we could to save him. We did everything we could keep him alive. He literally was taking one breath every 30 seconds. And it takes things like that for you to remember how important and how precious life is. It also reminds me how much accidental insurance is extremely important for younger people. I forget about that. This dude was 30 years old. He was riding a motorcycle. If it's an accident, it's going to happen to our younger generation. So you got to remember to give them that. Okay. But now that I've dealt with this, I have to remind people, I know you don't think you need it. I know you think you have enough, but you really don't. Nobody ever can. And I want you to understand that life is very precious. And 1 minute you can be doing fine. And then the next minute you're literally breathing one breath every 30 seconds. And then you're dead within 10 minutes. I mean, my shoe was literally covered in his blood. That's how bad it was. And it's been very traumatic. And now I'm at a point where I can drive over there now. But when you go through these things, both of my parents have passed away, you have to understand. And what helps me with referrals, Jacob, is that it's personal. It's extremely personal to me. Because it's personal, because I know what I'm saying, I'm educated on everything. I can sit there and take my time and be with them. And the other thing is I listen. I listen to every single thing they're saying. If they're telling me, well, I don't have any debt, I don't have any cars, I don't have this, but I have my house isn't paid for, I'm listening. Okay, so they don't need debt coverage, but their house isn't paid for. So I'm listening to that. Or, well, you know, my kids don't really do anything for me and this and that. And okay, well, you know what? Let's see what we can do to talk to your kids and let's see what we can do. Let's try to figure this out. Who else can we, contact you? Who else can we do this? Well, you know what? Who do you know that you could be a beneficiary to? Everybody wants to be a beneficiary. I could be everybody's beneficiary if I could. So who do you know that needs life insurance that could use you as a beneficiary? Because I'm going to go to them and let them know, hey, such and such thought this much about you. They want me to check with you, you know? And then when I'm going down the beneficiary list, well, okay, so I've got this in person. Hey, what about the person that referred me to you? Do you want to maybe add them on here as a secondary? You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to tie it all together. But if you come to me and if you say, well, Stacye, who could you be a beneficiary to? Well, my sister, my aunt, my cousin. I want to be everybody's beneficiary, so I'm going to send them all to you. You know? So there's different ways that you can do that. And so that's what I do. And my close, you always have to recap everything. Okay. Remember, I'm building up the credibility. Okay. And I'm building up the fact that I know everything. So that older generation, well, I've got all this medication. Oh, okay. Well, you have this, you have this. And then when they notice, oh, I didn't know what that was for. That's what that's for. Yep. That's what this is for. Oh, why are you taking both of these medications? Have you talked to your doctor about this? Okay, I'm going to write this down for you. You're taking this and you're taking that. I want you to ask your doctor, because I'm a nurse. I want you to ask your doctor, why am I taking all these medications? Do you know that my diabetic doctor has me on this, and you're my heart doctor and you have me on this? Credibility, trust. I'm building up that love and I'm building up that support. And now they're like, oh my God, she cares about me. My own children don't do this. Well, no, because they're not nurses. They're not going to. I use that to my advantage. Call them back later on and, hey, did you call and did you do this? Did you check on this? Ask Terrence. I will tell you in a minute, you need to go to the doctor. You need to call your doctor. You need to do this. You need to do that. So my close is, okay, remember, we just went over this. Now, how much insurance do you think you have? Well, I think we talked about that. Well, I think we talked about means they don't remember. Okay, well, I'm going to write all this down for you again, okay? And then when you get your policy, I want you to call me so we can go over it again, okay? So you've got $30,000 of whole life, right? You're paying $80 a month, okay? Now, we talked about an earth burial. I'm recapping everything. We talked about an earth burial. $30,000 is enough. Remember, you can probably find one for 10. Now, if you decide to do a cremation, we can go lower. If you decide to change your mind, call me and let me know. I can help you find a funeral home. I will help you do that. If you need me to come and get you and take you to the funeral home and see what we can do, I will help you do that. I am your insurance agent. This is my book of business. This person is helping my paychecks. So if I need to come to you and I need to say, okay, Mrs. Booker, I found a couple of funeral homes. Do you want to go by there and look at them today? Because Miss Booker don't have nobody to take her. Okay, well, we're going to go because Miss Booker's also at a church and she's one of the ushers and she's going to refer me to everybody. Okay, so I recap everything with them and then I let them know, remember, this is my number, this is my name, I'm going to call you back. 7 days later, I call them back. Hey, Mrs. Booker, just checking in with you. Everything is going great. Now, really quick, trick question. How much life insurance do you have? How much are we paying? Okay, perfect. You know, and if they don't remember, I go over it again. So listening, building the credibility up, getting their wall down, okay? Using real life experiences, being honest, being wholehearted, using whatever I can medication wise or education wise with them to my advantage. I'm doing everything I can to have them right in the palm of my hand. And then 6 months later, I check in with them again. So I literally have a file of my people that I've written since September. I'm about to start calling them tomorrow. Hey, Mrs. Such and Such, Mrs. Johnson, just remember, I dealt with you about 6 months ago. Let's go over your policy again, make sure you got it. You don't need to do anything, but remember, you've got $40,000 of insurance. This amount is coming out of your bank account. How is your husband? How is this? Because I write notes on everything, you know. Sherman has diabetes. How is Mr. Sherman's diabetes? You know, how are you guys doing? I know you guys were dealing with the flood. How's everything going? How's the grandkids? I'm doing all of that, building that credibility up again 6 months later. Okay, well, Mrs. Johnson, remember, if you have anybody you know that needs anything, I'm here for you guys. I think you guys are good. If you want anything, let me know, but let's go ahead and move on. Did you talk to the beneficiaries? Okay, well, let me go ahead and call them. Are you okay with me giving them the amount that you're covered? That's what I asked. That is a private amount. Do you want to give them that amount or do you want me to give it to them? If not, I can let them know that they are the beneficiary, but you're going to go over the amount with them. That gives them the control. And so that is what I do. That is how I do my referrals. It does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of effort, but I promise you, When I call them back later, they love me, they remember me. What I do is I try to make my appointments. So if I get them on the phone, I'm trying to either schedule them for that afternoon or I'm going to come by the next day. Okay. I do a lot of Zoom. I do a lot of Zoom. The other thing that I do is I use something called Calendly. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but there's a website you can go to. It's called Calendly, Calandley. You can go ahead and put in your own text, and what it will do, it will send them an email or a text reminder of you coming over there or you doing a Zoom with them. It goes to their email and it automatically goes to their phone. You can submit for it right then and there with them. You can do all your settings to where you can submit for it right then with there. Hey, Ms. Johnson, did you get that text message? You could check your email. It is, you got to pay for it, but it's all worth it in the grand scheme. So I've got Zoom, I've got Calendly, and I do use it religiously. At any rate, I try to do I would love to do my referrals in person, but a lot of them, if I tell them I can do Zoom, they're perfectly fine with Zoom, But what I do is when I get them on Zoom, hey, Mrs. Johnson, this is Stacye. How you doing? Oh my God, you look just like you sound, same thing, whatever. And if I know that they're dog lovers, oh my God, I have my dogs in here somewhere, and then I let her know, hey, how do you like this Zoom? Are you comfortable doing this? Because if not, I don't want to waste your time. I can come to the house, but I want to make sure that you're comfortable doing this Zoom. 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, I like this. I can do this. Well, you know what? Guess what? It's free. And you can see your grandkids. You can do whatever you want. So I build up this Zoom that what we're doing, and I build up everything. And then, all right, let's go over this. So Mr. Johnson told me that he wanted me to get a hold of you and go over some policies with you. Let me tell you what I did with him. And so let me tell you why we did it. And then I go over with him and I listen to what he's saying. And I'm either going to go off of the debt. I don't have enough insurance. I kind of want to go over my insurance. I don't really know what I have. I just try to go in all of that kind of stuff. And then like I said, depending on what the conversation is, I will go off of my real life stories. They always say something where I can play off of. Okay. That's really it. It's very simple because this is all I can, I'm so good at it, but it's very simple, very easy. The only thing I can tell you to do is you got those 4 C's. My main thing is credibility. Find something that you're very, very good at and work on that. And just listen to these people, listen to what they need. Because if you listen to them, that's going to help you. You can't tell somebody what they need. You have to listen to them and make them feel like they need it. I have what you need. I'm not going to sit there and tell Jacob, this is what you need to do. I need Jacob to tell me what I need is this. Okay, well, then that's what I can give you. I can do that. I've got a couple of options for you, but that's what we can do. So that's it.
There's so much to unpack there. Thank you so much for that, Stacye.
I just talk so much.
that was amazing. That was amazing. And guys, if you don't have your own stories, use hers. Use the motorcycle story. One of my coworkers, a good friend that I work with, this happened. And in the chat, you see it. Stories sell, facts tell. Guys, people only care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And just listening to Stacye right now, you can tell that when she goes in, she's really connecting with these people. Stacye, please stay on just in case anybody has any questions. We're going to go to you. I want to pass it off to Mark Bruce. And no stranger to this, no stranger to any of the calls. Mark, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you, brother, on how the referrals help your business.
Thank you, first and foremost. Stacye, that was awesome. That was awesome. I've been working with this girl basically ever since I've been in the insurance business.
Learn from the best, huh, Mark?
Awesome. So, just going right into it, I'm with Stacye. I wouldn't say 100% because, when I train, I'm training off a lead. So, when I have somebody in my ride, it's not off a referral business. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty partial to my referrals. It can be mine. I'm going to be selfish on my referrals because that's my people's, I grabbed them, so I'm gonna go get them. But the leads, and this is not a Zoom to tell you guys to quit, investing in leads. That's not what this is. We're in 100% commission, guys. You have to use every freaking resource that you can to be as most productive in the shortest period of time that you could possibly be. I mean, that's the name of the game. You know, here's the misconstrued statement for sales is selling the product. Nope. We're not selling the product. We're selling how that product applies to people's life. That's our job. Okay. Anybody can go up and state facts and throw it in there. Like Stacye says, there's a process to doing it. Okay. So, I mean, just first and foremost, you know, every week, you know, my goal is 10K, you know, with training. I'm not talking about what I help my agents write out in the field. I'm talking about what I write, 10K on top of whatever we're writing out in the field with my agents. Be honest with you, if I'm out in the field with my agents, this is just me. I give that to my agents. If they go, I'm gonna make them work for it, but that they gonna take that. So, you know, this Zoom with referrals, I'm just focusing on what I, you know, me, myself in the evening with my Zoom, or the referrals I'm going to see after hours or whatever. You know, tomorrow I'm driving 2.5 hours to see a referral. Best believe they gonna do something. It's gonna happen. So, and then I'm going to get referrals from that referral. It's going to happen. And I'm going to use, you know, use stories, of course. Hey, bud, my child, my 10-month-old is banging on my office window. I know, bud. So I'm going to use my story, use stories real. Hey, I just drove 2.5 hours out here to get you, you know, risk my life on the road to get here. So best believe we doing this. So I try to generate 8,500 to 10K a week. Okay. A month, we'll just take last month, wrote 31 and some change. Half of that was referral business. If I'm going to invest any amount of dollars, if anybody on this Zoom is going to invest anything out of their pocket and, you know, get business off of that, you're not grabbing the free options available in every household. Don't tell me that the household you're going in don't won't give you anybody. This is the reason why they're doing the insurance gig, is because they have loved ones to do it for. They have referrals. I don't care. You might roll up on a house where it's a husband and wife and they're in their 70s and they have each other. Okay. Maybe. Okay, fine. That's an excuse you can use, and it's probably a pretty viable excuse. Most of every house is going to have somebody they know, might not be family, might be close to related, might be friends of the family, whatever. They're going to have somebody that they know for you. So I mean, did y'all know that walking in a household, there's two types of people. There's extroverts, introverts. There's actually someone in the middle, but we're just going normal. There's extrovert and introvert, you know, and I'm going to just take that as a whole. Okay. I've been in the sales field for over 20 years. Okay. So there's two hemispheres in somebody's brain. Okay. There's the right hemisphere that's going to deal with the creativity and imagination. Okay. That's the first part of the prezo. Okay. The connection. You're coming in, you're grabbing stuff, different things you see in the household. Okay. Oh, wow. They like to fish. You go off on a fishing tandem, you know, you're getting creative, you know, we're being creative together. But by the end of the sale, you know, when it's time to close, you want them on the left hemisphere. Okay. The logic, the facts, the numbers. Okay. And it's a whole prezo process. I've been through so many different presentations over a number of categories in the sales field, and it's all the same. Okay. It starts off, hey, I'm Mr. Cool Guy. I'm a real person, not just a salesperson. Okay. By the end of it, you're like, okay, facts are facts. This is what's going to happen. Here's your problem, but don't worry, I have the solution. Now, which solution is going to work best for you? Basically, generally speaking, that's what we do. Okay. There's two different times you can ask for referrals, okay? And it's in both different parts of the hemisphere, and here's why, okay? Most extroverts, they tend to hang more of the right hemisphere, okay? Extroverts are the social butterflies, okay? They're Mr. and Mrs. Happy, and you know, they like to imagine a lot. They're creative. Not to say introverts aren't creative, but you know, there's ways to ask for referrals then. That's when you plant seeds. Okay. Let's take connection. Okay. In my connection, I'm walking in, I'm wanting to know how long they live there. Do they live by friends and family? Obviously not question, but it's going to be a whole round question, and they're not even going to know. I'm getting all that information. Okay, how long you lived here? 20 years? Oh, wow, great. I'm sure there's some, fun stuff to do. As a matter of fact, I was in the house the other day around Shenandoah. I brought up Main Event because me and my son like to go to Main Event. Turns out they like to go to Main Event. We're sitting there talking. Oh, do you go over there with your family? Oh, great. Now they got family in the area. I'm about to get some referrals. So they were extroverts like I am. I planted some seeds right there. Good, wholesome family place. I'm going to come back around it by the end of the sale, and I'm going to bring up what they just said. Don't tell me you don't have no referrals because you just said you go to Main Event with your family. Okay. Can't tell me none of those people don't need insurance. That's one place to ask for referrals. Introverts, they hang more to the left hemisphere. Okay. Left hemisphere is more fact finding, logic, that's where introverts, that's their world. That's the ocean they swim in. Okay. That's the close of our close. Okay. That's the close of the sale. That's normally where you're going to ask introverts for referrals. Yes, you're going to ask in both types of people in both spots. You might get referrals at both places. Awesome. But an introvert on the close is normally as such. And Mr. and Miss Johnson, hey, I've had a great time. So if you were going to rate me on a 1-star being the worst, a 5-star being the best, how would you rate me? And of course, if you're writing up an application, normally it's going to be 5 stars. Okay, great. 5 stars, that's awesome. That's what I shoot for in every household. Let me ask you this. Do we feel good about what we've done today? I do too. I think we've done a huge credit and a huge benefit for your family today. But just specifically, what part of the benefits are your favorite? And I'm asking that because I'm going to circle back around. It's a tie down referral question right there. Okay. Well, I like the fact that the current provider that I was at, you beat the rate and you give just as much coverage or sometimes more coverage. Okay, great. Because that's what I shoot out to do every time I walk in a household, if I can. Okay, great. Because then when I ask for referrals, I'm going to be like, okay, great. Hey, you know what? I'm so glad that I could do a 5-star rating with you guys. Hey, you remember a while ago when we were talking about Main Event? Because this is what I do. Okay. I'm put here on earth, just like in my, what I was telling you, I was meant to be in a doctor because that's my transition, but I ended up in the insurance world, but I do save lives just down the road. Okay. Every household I go in, okay, I want to save as many people as possible in the future. Okay. So you remember how y'all used to go to, who are some of those family members that you go to Main Event? Because I'm going to go there I want to go there now. And I want to do the same 5-star rating I did for you for them. That's what I want to do. I mean, you have to get used to being in that awkward position because it is. I mean, it's a little awkward. You have to get a little awkward. It's easy for me to do that. Okay. Some of you, it might not be that easy, but you're going to find that the more you put yourself in that awkward position, the more used to it you're going to get. Those people aren't used to that. Okay. They're not used to being in that awkward position. So they want to get out of it. And the easiest way out is giving you a referral. Okay. Be persistent with it. Okay. Don't take no for an answer. Now, of course, you're going to have some people you just absolutely, they're not going to give you a referral. Okay. I get a little worried when I don't get a referral because they either A, they don't trust you, which we got problems with that, or B, they're not sure about the benefits that you just explained. So that's one of the rebuttals that I use. If I ask for a referral at the close and they haven't already given me one through the whole presentation, I'm saying, okay, who out of the loved ones that you were just talking about am I going to be able to do for them what I just did for you? And they're like, oh, I don't really have anybody. It shocks me. I'm going to look shocked. I'm going to sit in my seat. I'm going to be like, okay. I'm just the type of guy that I'm going to go home tonight and beat my head in my desk drawer at home. So just so that I can understand, is it the benefits that you didn't understand? They're going to be like, no, I mean, no, we understand the benefits. Okay, great. Is it me? Is it, oh, it's not me. Okay. Because uh, you do enjoy, the fact that I just, insured your whole family, right? And your beneficiaries. Oh, okay, great. I'll just make sure because, you know, I want to do that for your loved ones. And I packed a bag out there in the car, and I know you got a guest bedroom. I'll stay there until you come up with somebody. We can do that. And it's a laughing situation. You have to make it funny, but that's how persistent you have to be. You'll find that people will give you BS the first time, maybe BS the second time, but that third time, they're going to come clean with it. You have to stick with it. They're looking for you to fold before them. So you have to be persistent with getting referrals. And I love it. I'm so confident that I'm going to get that referral before I even walk in that house. That's one of my favorite parts of the pre-sale. When I do the post-close, I'm getting them to write down, okay, so get a pen and paper. What did we just do for you? Okay, great. Awesome. Hey, you were paying attention. That's awesome. On a scale from 1 to 5, how many stars would you get? Okay, great. And then I'm going to go in. I cannot wait to ask for the referrals. And when I get them, guess what, guys? Guess what we're going to do next? We're going to call them right now. No, I'm not calling them in a minute. If it's 10 o'clock in the morning, they're at work. Okay. All right. Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do, Miss Johnson. I'm going to call you at 5:31. Okay. And go ahead and give them a call before I call you. All right. And let them know that I'm not out to get them, that I'm an okay guy. And let them know the favorite part that we talked about a while ago. I beat your rate that you had. Okay. Let them know what I did for you, how much I got you back for your cash value. Okay. And then you and I are going to call them together. We're going to do a 3-way. Okay. And then you're going to lead off, and then I'll take it over from there. Okay. I just don't want them to think I'm just somebody off the street, out to get them, because as well as I do, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then I follow up and I call them. Worst comes to worst, but the same day, I'm going to call them that day. The next day, your percentage goes down. You just cut it in half on getting a hold of those referrals. The day after that, you can cut that percentage in half again. Next day, you might have a 50% chance. The day after that, you got about a 25% chance to get a hold of those referrals. I mean, you can stop back by and kick it back up, but get them while they're in the ether of the sale. Okay. Hey, we're fired up about it. You're there because I promise you, a month after you're there, yeah, it's still a good deal, but it's a bill. I mean, it is what it is. So make the call while you're there. It's the easiest way to get in to a referral's house and make another sale is when they hear from their loving person that they trust that you're an okay guy and you just did them good. So definitely do that. So as far as the presentation, I try to get them on Zoom as much as possible because, especially when I'm training out in the field. If I'm training out in the field, and I get the referral, if I get back to the house and they can jump on, and they can jump on Zoom, great. If like tomorrow, they weren't down with Zoom. Okay. I actually wrote his son and his son's wife, and he's the father, of course. I, did the post-close referral and got him, called him on the spot. He was so down, like 4 flats on a Cadillac. He was down. He was not happy with where he was at. But he said, I know the Zoom and everything. I've heard it. I'm just not cool with it. I just don't do that. Hey, no worries, no problem. Name of the game is get out there however you can. My presentation does not differ. If there's no differential presentation, if it's in person, on Zoom, whatever the case may be, this presentation that they have at NESB, I'm not going to lie, is one of the best that I've seen. It's really, really good. Why? Because it's real. I mean, it's real. I mean, the facts are facts, You just say what they say and you'll make what they make. I'm not trying to make it a money thing, but it is what it is. So I stick to the prezo, the 10-step. It's going to allow you, if you stick to it and repetition and do the same thing, you're going to get these things like, trust, credibility, referrals, AP, all that's going to come with it. So I try to keep mine the same, especially out in the field when I'm with my with my team or somebody new agent coming on, the presentation is very duplicable, and I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. So my presentation does not change at all. I'm not trying to come up with some new inventive way to do what the several millionaires at this company have already done. It is what it is, So, I mean, just to recap everything, if you're not out, or let me put it this way, if you are investing in yourself and you are not collecting referrals, you are doing yourself a horrible injustice. Horrible, okay? For every one lead that I go sit with, they have at least one referral, at least. I ask for 3. I might just get 1, okay? So think about it. If you're on a standing lead order of Memorial Platinums, okay? Jacob, what is that? 650-ish, 650? Something like that. So if you're spending $650 a week, okay, on 30 fresh Memorial Platinums, that wouldn't be 650, 20, that'd be 20 of them, whatever. So if you're spending that kind of money and you're getting 20, you should have 20 referrals every week, 20 minimum. And on that 20, I guarantee you, you'll sell 10 of them. Guarantee you, because you're coming off of somebody that they trust, that normally you just wrote a policy for. So, I mean, you're going to sell those people. And you can use, I mean, if you want to look at it like this, somebody's like, God, oh man, $650 a week. Okay, use the referral to pay for your next lead batch. Then you're working off 100% profit. Don't look at investing in leads as spending money. Look at it as purchasing money, because that's what you're doing. Everybody on this call, you're here for a reason. We are so blessed to do what we do. And you're good enough to make it here, and you're not taking every option that you can, whether it be referral or investing in yourself. Man, you need to take a long look in the mirror, and you need to realize what we do matters. It really does. My grandfather told me this, and I'm gonna close out with this, Jacob, and I'll leave it open for Q&A. My grandfather told me, boy, if you can find a job BSing, you'd be a millionaire. I wish he was still alive. But the BSing that I'm doing is it's not just BSing, it's fact. I get to BS and I get to have a good time with it because I know we got the goods. I've worked at another agency. I've worked in other sales categories doing that. This is it. You're not going to get any better than this. It's not going to happen. It's good for them. What we make is a drop in the bucket compared to what we're going to bring to that family that you sit with. Don't feel guilty about what you do. We work our ass off for what we do, and we get paid accordingly. You're only going to get out of this business what you put into it. And if you're not grabbing referrals and pulling them out of here, you're doing yourself an injustice. And think about this. You could have saved somebody's financial life, but you didn't ask, so you don't get to. If you're in this to be a good person, look at it that way. You need to try to be the best person you can. You need to try to save the person that in any other situation you wouldn't be able to save. But because you went out of the box, because you believed in yourself, because you invested in yourself and got these leads, now you get to. So that's all I got. I mean, you just got to go get it. Just got to go get it. And I do appreciate it, Jacob. Thank you for the time, my man.
Dude, thank you. All I've been doing is taking notes. So I appreciate you. I appreciate Stacye. Guys, if y'all have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. And then we'll go ahead and do that. But Mark, I appreciate you, man. This was fire. Thank you so much, Stacye, as well.
No problem.
Now, let me see my notes. But yeah, I mean, this was phenomenal. If we don't have any questions, we can pretty much just end it right there. Let me do.
I do want to give a shout out to John. Is it Haith? Is that how you say that, sir? It's good to put a face to the name, my man. It's the first time I've seen you. It's good to put a face to the name.